itself in times of emergency. In this regard, we submit that every measure is permissible, both in times of peace and in times of crisis. It stated further, legal norms may occasionally and in times of war permit a deviation from the legal norms applicable in times of peace. In its hours of crisis, the state is not required to sacrifice itself on the altar of the basic rights and freedoms of the citizen, but is entitled to restrict these rights and freedom as is necessary to effectively deal with its enemy. Because thus cited and Israeli case, Arnold versus Minister of Defense, which states that there is no choice in a democratic society seeking freedom and security, but to create a balance between freedom and dignity on the one hand and security on the other hand. Human rights cannot become an excuse for denying public and state security. A balance is needed, a sensitive and difficult balance between freedom and dignity of the individual and state and public security. This was used as a justification for its view. The national crisis period, what role should the media play? Protect a somewhat borderless national security interest as export at the expense of national or choose not to. The question has also been asked on whether in the course of protection of national interest, the interests of national leaders are not being conflated with that of the nation, while admitting that Nigerian national interest needs to be protected by the media. The selfish interest of its leader, both on the political, economic, and even the military spheres, should be really misinterpreted as the national interest of the nation. Some other extremist views have submitted that Nigeria, failing to answer to the definition of nation, makes the need urgent to ask what exactly we talk about when we articulate a Nigerian national interest. Of particular mention is the definition of a nation. Let me see. So, if Nigeria is not a nation, how does it have national interest, which the media must protect? In examining the Nigerian media and protection of the national interest, the question becomes even more apposite to ask what interest or whose interest do the Nigerian media serve to protect. Since its inception in 1859, the Nigerian press has played a major role in the conflictuation and cooperative, even if overlapping among social, political, and economic forces in Nigeria. Scholars and writers have underscored the critical role played by the media, especially the early media, in the exposure of nationalism and awakening racial consciousness in the context of colonial rule. I just want to conclude what he said here, and I think that was suffice. During the military era, the press was forced to return to defending the people's interest as against interests of autocratic military government, which disguised its interest as national interest. Not only it, the media of the time rising unison against the repression of the military. It criticized its high-handedness, which resulted in the closure of many of its outfits. Conclusion. Let's go to its conclusion. Conclusion. Why Odu scientists felt the color of Nigerian national interest, which needed to be safeguarded and respected, the Nigerian media interest seems amorphous. It may sound impracticable to see the Nigerian media that is not answerable to proprietary, ethnic, and now advertorial interests. It is in this interest that we can find this land of projection in the Nigerian media. Thank you very much.